Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's shed update time again, and wanted to show you the cabinet that, well, shelving unit that I made and put in. We're going to go in. This is all made with pocket screws, and we're going to show you some of those. I just placed 4 of them along the side on each side, and then there's no back to this. I did put some braces, one at the top and one at the bottom, to tie it into the wall. But basically I'm using the back wall, since it's plywood. I'm using that as back for the cabinet. And I could have put some pocket screws in along here and everything and just tied that right into the wall. But by doing it this way, if I needed to use a shim or something like that to get it plumb, then I could have. And then of course just screw it straight back into the wall, and the shelving unit would pinch the shim, and that would hold it plumb. But as luck would have it, whoever built the shed did a pretty good job. This wall right here is plumb, so by putting this back against the wall, I know that this is plumb. And I did have to get it plumb left and right here. Whoops, sorry about the hand there. Okay, trying to film with one hand here. It's a little tight in here still. I did have to get it plumb this way, so I kind of pushed it a little bit, you know, with the level on here, and then put the screws in the wall. Now, if you notice back here, there's a space to this back wall, and this is where I plan on putting the motors and everything. They'll be, stacked up. They have a motor with a crankshaft in it, and then just a bare block, and then a transmission and another transmission. So that should all fit in this corner pretty easy. And the reason why I didn't build this unit first and then this one is I'm trying to save on materials a little bit, and this is one of the benefits of having the plywood on the side walls here. Well, in case this wall is out of plumb, that would make these shelves different lengths, and of course then you might have a gap. I think the shed's pretty good in that respect, but it might have a gap. So by doing it this way, I'll just cut the shelves individually. They'll, for length, they might be a 1/16 or even an 1/8 inch off, per shelf, distance wise, but they'll just go right against the wall here, and then I'll screw them right to the wall. And I'm actually gonna have some braces underneath that'll run up along the wall, like a strip here and a strip there, just to help hold the shelf up. And that way, whenever the motor sets on there, it's a nice compression load instead of just working on the screws. Because as strong as the pocket screws are, I don't know how they would hold up. I guess that would be a good torture test. But I'd rather just not chance it. But you can see, I mean, it is on there really good, nice and strong. And of course you can see the I want to show you this. You can see the exposed edge in the plywood, and I set the shelf back here a little bit, and I'm going to be putting a nice face frame on this, and a piece probably about 1 inch tall across the front of the shelf, and that'll help give the shelf a little more support to keep it from bowing. And we're going to use poplar for that, because if I ever do decide to paint it, poplar will take the paint really, really well. So you can see it's pretty close to the ceiling up there, and I had a little trouble getting it in here, but we got it up in place. The issue is if I brought it in and just kind of set it up on my my base here, and then try to tilt it up, the distance between one corner and the other corner, that's the key. As you bring a square object up in a room, you have to worry about that distance. That distance can't be more than from the floor to ceiling. And you look at that is pretty tight. So what I had to do, let's look down here. What I had to do is actually bring it in here and set it on the floor, and then pick it up straight up, rotate it, and then set it back into place. And that gave me the maximum use for size for the storage area. So next time you tune in, we're going to have the shelving back here put in, and maybe even try and get the motors put back in there, and try and get that put away. And then all the stuff on that wall, that's all going to come off. and basically that'll be, all that stuff will be stored over here. And there's a propane tank down here. I mean, there's all kind of stuff. You've seen it in the other videos. But oh, and I wanted to show you this. Remember I said that we do get some water in here sometimes. It has been raining cats and dogs. Not so much now. It's beautiful, beautiful day in PA. But we did get some water in here. There's about maybe 3/8 to 1/2 an inch of water in here, and I just took a broom and brushed that out, and that'll dry out pretty quickly. But I think what I'm going to do is put a bead of silicone along the front door here, because that seems to be where most of the water is migrating in. It's coming in this way, and I did get just a little bit back there. It looks really wet, but it's basically just damp. And sure glad I made this base the way I did, you know, with its ladder style base out of the treated lumber. So I'll know if I do get water in here in the future, I'm never gonna have to worry about having it wick up into the plywood and then have the plywood delaminate, and it just turns into a nightmare. One more thing I wanted to show you is I did just use some BC plywood for the shelving, for the shelves here, but the cabinet itself is made out of a good cabinet grade plywood. You can see all the different layers, and this type of plywood really takes a screw well. I mean, it really holds. So that's what all the base cabinets are going to be made out of, and also the cabinets that I put along the top over here. We'll have a taller one on this side, a shorter one above the window. Oh, the white light's flickering. Shorter one above the window. Probably need a new bulb in there. That'll be cured when we get the LEDs. They're out of stock at Lowe's, but they're supposed to be on their way in. So a shorter shelf here, and then you know, something a little taller on this side. And then I was thinking the parts washer's right here, and it's going to go right here. I was thinking about stopping the cabinets right about here, and just above the parts washer, just put like one open shelf, and you could stack a couple things up there, you know, just some things that you need right away from time to time. But let me know what you think in the comments, and if you think I should just continue the cabinets the whole way across over to the corner, or stop it at the end of the workbench and then just put a open shelf there. So I thought that would add a little bit of character, but I do kind of like having it kind of nice and tidy and neat, and have everything put in its place and put away. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe down there. Thanks, guys. Take care. See you in the next video.